Hi, I'm Malik Gilberto Maca Pacheco, and I'm going to talk about all the discussion of the topics that we did in the class of Culture and Civilization of the United States. Well, the first unit, the cultural factory, we learned of what is the culture. That, for example, is a set of beliefs, values, and traditions, custom languages, and behavior of that the people shared of that specific group, how this culture shaped the way that they think or communicate. And one of the topics that we saw there was the cultural iceberg theory. Like that's like an iceberg, only a small part, so because only a small part or the visible part of the culture can be easily seen. For example, food, music, and languages, but a large part of the culture is invisible, like uh, values, beliefs, or attitudes. For example, hamburgers and baseball are visible aspects of the culture of America. And as a reflection of this, I have to say that they need to talk to us to we shouldn't judge a culture just what we can see, because it's important to understand um the hidden values of their cultures, and this will help us to communicate respectfully. And the second unit, the U.S. cultural symbols and the U.S. history. In this unit, we studied about important cultural symbols and what they are and what they represent. For example, the Statues of Liberty that represent the freedom, or the American flags that symbolize the unity, patriotism, and democracy. And we also learned about the multiple events in the U.S. history, such as the American Revolution, the Civil War, the Great Depression. That was the one that we pick up, me and my team pick up for the presentation. For example, the Great Depression showed the importance of the economic recovery programs that were implemented in the United States. And as a reflection of this topic, I have to say that learning the history, um, the meaning of the different the different symbols help us to understand why American culture and values are the way that they are today, and also teach us to how historical events influence in the modern day. And the Unite 3, the influences of other cultures on American English. And we studied about also the American English versus the British English and all the US dialects. This unit showed us the American English, how has been influenced by the many different cultures that have nations of immigrants. The how many words have been acquired by them, like Spanish words, African words, Italian words, etc., etc. And also how the American English is compared to the England English, and how it's have been developed differently, as they have developed many differences between each other. And for example, the color that is spelled color and color, or elevator or lift. And the last topic that we have here was the way that the United States dialects, like the many that they have, like the Southern English, the New York, the African America, or for example, the one that we talked about, that was the the Asian American, uh, the Asian American dialect, and the different stereotypes or the way that they develop and helped the English language. And this unit particularly helped us to understand the language change over time and reflects the history of the people that have lived there. And the last one is the unit 4, the the four of the norms, the values, and the cultural extensions contrast. Um, in which topic? In this topic, we learn about the main institutions that influence the American society. For example, the most important are like the education system, the government system, the healthcare system. That was one that actually we exposed. Well, my group and I exposed in the class. The family, the media, etc. Because these institutions help organize society and contribute to the country's economic, politics, and also the development of the country socially, or and many other aspects of it. And and this unit helped us to understand these institutions, help us better to understand how well the American people works, and well the American society works, and why these organizations are important for the daily life of the people. And in general, I think that in conclusion, why I think it is important to learn for us as future teacher is because it's essential to teach us not only the grammar and the vocabulary, but also it's important to teach us this aspect of the culture, the history, the values, tradition of the English speakers countries. Well, specifically this one, the American. Um, and also, this knowledge will help us as students to become more respectful, open-minded, and effective to communicate in other in this incredibly globalized world. So, thank you so much for your attention.